50% of people that we just had an idea of what they wanted to do. But I'd like to, and Laurie, if you could just mediate for me in terms of the scroll, where are people at right now in terms of, you know, what do they want? Where are they now? Where are they stuck? Where is the problem? Or what would they like to discover most?
Okay, can give your answer in the chat box.
Okay, thank you. So I'm looking.
Sure.
Its latest epidemiological update, the WHO says the Americans remain.
That was just mute.
Okay, is there anything coming in?
Nothing yet.
Can we communicate, or do we need to do it through chat box?
No, I don't have to. We can communicate. I think you can put people
Mhm.
on, so it's better because, you know, I think if we can hear people, then it's better because then it's going to be more interactive.
Can I go?
For sure. So
Okay.
who's speaking?
Hi, my name's Merle Lipman, and
Hi, Merle.
hi there. I've had a business established since 2008, and I'm the sole owner of the company. We have a team building and team development company where we work as strategic partners with venues in hospitality, and our main core client is the corporate client. Where we are a service provider, and we 100% mobile, and we obviously interact and work with these clients, and have had fortunately a very established business. I'm the CEO of the company, and I'm sure, as you can understand, when COVID came, it was just immediate where our business came to a parking halt, and I needed to spend time pivoting the business, which I did. So we've moved into adding 5 different products, and one of them being virtual team building, where it's quite challenging because that we are wired for connection as human beings, and people want that physical contact. But
Okay.
yeah, so we are picking up traction, and I fortunately, I'd say I am a good businesswoman, where I've been able to pivot the business in the last few months, but I've carried the business for the last 5 months, from a really well-established business to no turnover. And it's slowly picking up traction now with virtual bookings. And I'm finding that people are now wanting to go outdoors and asking us about our safety and security. So I'm feeling quite, the reason why I joined in was to obviously connect and possibly network with people that could come up with a concept that perhaps I haven't thought about. I do believe in internet marketing. It's where we get a lot of our inquiries from, but it's quite a tough market out there at the moment. And I am a very positive person.
Okay, so that's great. Thanks for sharing. We will come back to that, because one of the can I just put that on pause and see if there's any other what other people can contribute, and then we can come back to that, because the aim of this presentation is how to sell yourself, but it's really about how to inject yourself into your sales communication, which is how you differentiate yourself, which is going to pivot back into what you've just mentioned. Can you do it in a different way in order to differentiate yourself from your competitors?
Yes, correct.
As this the next slide, it says, what makes you you, and how do you differentiate yourself? So we will explore ways in terms of how we can do that, and then we can always circle back into your particular situation.
Would anyone else like to say something?
So I think it's a matter of, okay, is there someone
Okay,
else?
so we have something from Heinrich here, Kevin. Selling ourselves via online platforms like Zoom in meetings and following up to ensure our products and services are chosen to close deals. Okay.
Okay, so I think we will be able to touch on that. Is there anything else in terms of before I go into the presentation? I just like to temper the information based on people who are brave enough to stand up and say, this is who I am and this is what I want.
Nothing right now, it seems.
Okay, so let me launch into it and then we can always circle back. So what I'd like to offer in this presentation is to provide some insights and also some tools in how you can tell your own story better. In other words, one of the antidotes to this convoluted and confused online market is, how do you connect with people? How do you differentiate yourself? Because, if people are just tired of the bullshit, their marketing, I mean, listen, I've been in marketing for, 30, 40 years, and it's completely changed. And especially now, people want to connect. People want to feel they don't have tolerance anymore for nonsense. So the more you can align your story and your individuality with your product and service, the more likely you are to connect with the right type of person. So I know it takes a lot of courage.
Xavier?
Yes? Sorry, I thought you were asking me something. To be vulnerable and to put yourself on the line, but in your way, it's your best bet to connect with the people who are going to see you as the solution versus your competitor. So the question is, how do you become more human? How do you inject yourself into your product and service? So for this presentation, I try to summarize it in 4 basic areas that I'd like to offer insights into. So the question is, do you know who you are in terms of what drives you? How do you translate that? How do you develop the story so that it's relevant to your business, to your clients, right? Do you understand who you are helping in terms of their pain? It's a particular process, but you can't help someone if you don't know really what they're going through. Then once that's done, what evidence do you have that your success, that you are successful? And this is, I have some strategies here that we can, that I want to show you in terms of what can be done. And then lastly, some practical advice in terms of how do you put this all together? So this is a whole process over here, but I've tried to, and there's lots of information and it's very complex, but I've tried to make it as simple as possible so that we can eat the elephant one bite at a time. So for the who are you, what I'm offering you is techniques of how you can uncover your own vision story. It's like, well, what do you want? What do you want from your business? Why are you doing the work that you do? And then how did that come about? So I have some techniques that can help you around that. And then who are you helping? So what is the actual problem? Can you define the problem in an innovative way that can help you later down the line when you need to communicate what your offering is? And we have a process called the Pain to Glory process, which I use with most of my clients, which I'm going to show you so that you can use it yourself in getting more clear. Then you have the evidence. What evidence do you have? So I have insights of how you can use testimonials, especially with Zoom, to say what you who you are, your core values, in the words of your customers. Because this, in the world where people want to connect and know that it's real, testimonials are critical. So I've got something to show you in terms of that I use very effectively for clients to be able to to endorse whatever you come up with in your process. In other words, restate your values in the words of other people. And then the last part of the presentation, I want to introduce some tools that can help you in your communication. So that's the basic outline. Okay, so let's start with who are you? And this is based in the fact that our brains are wired for stories. We've been sitting around fires for thousands of years, and we love stories. So my challenge here is to encourage you to share your story. I'll read this. When we share our stories, we let people know they aren't alone. Stories are built from paths forged on our own, but can shift the collective as we help others move forward. That's one of the most powerful things we can do as humans on this planet. We show people their struggles don't have to be forever. We shine a light, extend a hand, and lead them to possibility. So the departure is your vision story. And these questions over here, are going to help you unlock your vision story. So it takes a lot of work in the beginning to put it all down, but as you work through it, you can start to insert it in your communication. So I found these very inspiring, and if there's time later, I'm going to share my own process in terms of what was my result coming out of this process. So what keeps you inspired to keep going in your business? What's the deeper purpose of your work? Why are you doing what you do? What happens when everyone in the world has your product or access to what you do best, and what's the result of that in the entire planet? Now, this is from a process that we do when we're trying to develop the communication for videos, to inject people's core values into the communication. So I've just summarized it in terms of a few points. There's no time to go through the full process, but I'm hoping this will inspire you to start injecting yourself in your business as a point of differentiation to your competitors. Describe the future of your business. Think long-term, big picture. What is your work doing in the world, and what's the big why around why you are servicing people? Did you feel called to this work from a cosmic or spiritual perspective, if applicable? And why did you choose this work? So for me, you need a glass of wine, or however you like to relax and spend an hour on this process. Once you have your vision story, we go to the origin story, where this is really designed to bring out your essence, your connection to your business, what drives you, and then this can be weaved in to your communication. So what things happened in your personal life that influenced you starting your business? What aha moments in your personal life has sparked change in your business, made you really grateful about what you do? Everyone has a highlight reel of good and bad experience. What would be included if someone ever made a movie of your life? Make a list of your top 10. Out of that list, doing related experience, starting your business, passion or experience, right? What do you say when people ask you how and why you started your company? What are you leaving out? Think of a real ideal star customer. Has your work helped them specifically? Why are you passionate about helping them? What gives you the right to do what you do? So these questions, they help us go into who we are and show where we're vulnerable. When we can show our vulnerability, people see us as more human, and they want to connect with us. And that's where I mentioned in the intro, people do business with people who they know, like, and trust. So when you can translate this origin story into your communication, people get a better idea of who you are. Now, this whole story is crafted, but out of the story, you're going to have just 1 or 2 lines that you insert here and there that gives people a better idea of who you are and what's driving you. And that's going to build trust. So these, I mean, I hope people, you can screen grab these. If you want to use these, I'll just go back. I forgot to mention, I can include these slides, but I just suggest people take these, a screen grab. I'll do this vision story and now the origin story.
Kevin,
And
we
we
are
can-
able to, sorry, we are able to share the slides with the participants afterwards, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Okay, so that, I mean, there's a whole deep process around this, how you cultivate this and how you use this in video and how you stretch it out and put it on social media and push it into your product videos and what have you. But there's not enough time to go through all of that. But for me, this is a beginning point of developing story and narrative, and then working out how you can insert that into your business communication. So people are, if it grabs them, you know, they can always contact me afterwards, and we can find a way how we can facilitate that process for you. So, you know, my idea here was to try help people as much as possible and not to pitch anything, but just to understand there's a full process behind it. And if it resonates with you, then I encourage you to get hold of me after the presentation. Okay, so the second bucket we spoke about was who are you helping? So this pain to glory process, it's also you can screen grab this. But this is also a list of questions that we often go through with our clients, depending on what we're doing, to try identify the pain. Because unless you can know what people are experiencing, you can't help them, you can't talk to them. And all communication is about you know, targeting people. If you're writing Google ads, you've got to know what their pain is and talk directly to that. And these questions over here, or this first part has a list of questions that can help you define what pain you are helping people go through. So just to go over it very quickly, like describe the perfect client you want to attract. So this helps in terms of targeting, and knowing where to go and find those people. But then what is their biggest pain, problem, or frustration? So if any of you have used Google Ads, you will know that, you know, you have it's almost Morse code. You've got 30 characters, then 90 characters, where you have to fine tune your communication and get them interested in your business just by the words that you use. But there's a lot of work that goes into discovering, you know, exactly all the different options for a particular type of client, and then working on what exactly is working right now for people, because it's always changing. The market's always changing. But if you map out the biggest pain, problem, or frustration, you can see what's working or not, and you can stay consistent in trying to find the best wording, the best way to touch on these pains and these problems. So the rest of them are all more in detail in terms of understanding their pain. But essentially, we want to know exactly who we're targeting, and then we are going to work our solution based on what we can do to transform their problem. So, you know, the second part is the glory. Is like, what is the ideal outcome? Where are you going to take these people? How is your solution going to transform their pain into glory? So this is now formulating your solution and how you're going to help them. And the last part of it is what is your offer, and how many different iterations of your offer can you give them in terms of different price points and different ways that you can take people into a better state. Also, what I find very interesting is how can you do it at different price points? You know, can you offer something small to get people to start to engaging you so that you can grow them into a bigger client? I mean, we've had to re-engineer our solution so that we can help people with limited cash flow owing to COVID and people concerned. So we've re-engineered our offer so that, you know, we make less money, but we at least get them going with the hope that we are going to be, you know, growing them into bigger clients. Okay, so the next, I don't know if there are any questions that people have around this before I move on to the next part, because we can always circle back. But I mean, once we're here, if people have any questions around this pain to glory process.
So, Kevin, we have a comment from Hannah Stain. She says, I do not understand, what do you mean by pain? Can you explain that?
Pain is that people are driven to look for solutions or to go to the internet because they have pain. There's something they need a service. A pain is they can't get customers, right? It's what is creating their problem? What is their resistance? They're looking for a solution, right? So the pain is essentially their discontent.
Thank you.
So it says, what is the second question? What is the biggest pain, problem, or frustration? Because any business, you know, product or service has a solution. You know, that's why they're in business. So essentially, this is just mapping out and trying to understand their pain or their discomfort or their problem on the deepest level, so that you can formulate your solution to that, or make it appropriate to their problem.
And then we have a comment here, the pain point is the problem. Example, I am frustrated with my team that's not collaborating. The solution or glory might be a team building event.
Correct.
This is from Helene.
Yeah.
If I may, can I comment on that?
Sure.
Thanks. So I think that we often think about what we're selling. So let's say if it's a team building event that I'm selling, but what's the problem that the team building event is actually solving? And that's the pain point. You know, it's not that people need more team building events. They actually need the resolution or the impact that team building event will have on their team. Is it collaboration or empathy with each other or commitment to the team? And that's how I understand this idea of the pain. What is the thing that's bothering them? The clip in his schoen, the thorn in the shoe. And I really, I love the questions that you're asking here, because that really helps us understand the deeper frustration that the client has, which is the reason why they're looking for our product or service.
Correct. So, I mean, because I'm just very conscious of times, I don't want to go into this in too much detail. Otherwise, we'll be here all day and night. But you can see what keeps them up at night worrying, fearful or anxious. What is the biggest mistake this perfect client is making right now? So this talks to your point, where you go a little bit deeper. What humiliates them? This is more on an emotional level. Because part of this process is, you know, once you understand the pain, you can deepen the pain by saying to them, well, just think, if you don't do something about this now, how bad it's going to get. So that, you know, that technique's called like twisting them, like putting a knife in their stomach and then twisting it. But it is manipulative, but in the end, you are giving a resolution. You are helping them move from that. But to get people to move, you have to, you know, almost turn the volume up. So that they can understand the implications of not acting. So if it was for a webinar, you would have to go deep into what are those people experiencing? What is the source of their comfort, and what's discomfort, and what is really behind that? You know, what is their most urgent, pressing crisis they have to solve right away? What does your perfect client complain about when they're with their friends and family? So you're trying to get as much contextual understanding of where people are at, so that when you talk to them, they feel like you know, you've hit the nail on the head. So that's what this part one is about, is trying to understand who they are so you can relate to them. So where the storytelling comes in is when you can relate, because there is it's funny is that your perfect client is usually to help someone who's in the same situation as you. So if you've been you know, experiencing the same problems as your client, and you can show them through your business or service how much it's helped you, you become the perfect role model and example to move them from the place of pain into glory. And that's why the storytelling is so important, that most people, you know, believe that they, you know, it's just about selling a service. And what I'm offering you is to say, if you can inject your own vulnerability, you enhance that connection, so that when you call these people out and move into your story of how you're going to help them, they're going to be paying so much more attention, because they can see a human on the other side. And that is the trick to having higher conversion for the amount of effort, you know, time and money that you are spending in developing your solution. Okay, so are there any other questions?
We have another comment from Merla. I'm not sure if Merla wants to speak, or would you
Yeah.
like me to read it? She says, our passion with our team building is to reconnect, rebuild, and create synergy with teams. They are now working from home or other in our new normal. It is about facilitating a team with consistently working with the particular teams. We have offered 50% deduction on our products and services to support our corporate clients.
Okay, so what is the question?
Yeah, so I could talk if I could.
Okay, please.
Okay. Hi, sorry. So my name's Merle. It's pronounced like
Merle.
Merle as Pearl. Yeah. It was just an answer to the question of the previous guest with regard to frustration and talking about pain, your pain. So the pain is that people are feeling frustrated. Everyone's feeling frustrated, in my opinion. And that we, you know, there's it's like almost as though everything's being turned upside down. And so we're now working not together and connecting. And again, in my opinion, we are wired for connection, human connection. So with us, it's about listening to our clients and also to work closely with the director or manager who is heading the departments or divisions, and to understand that people are feeling many different emotions. So understanding that pain, and then collaborating and working with them in bringing them together in our new normal. So for myself, I feel being a compassionate person and creative and very passionate about what I do, that comes through. It's about getting that message across. It's about getting that message across to people, because now we're trying to connect on internet and through Zoom, and it's a barrier.
Correct. So this what my desire for this presentation is to give you the starting block of how you can craft that connection and that story with structure. So all these questions are going to help draw out your story that you can translate down so you can relate better, and you can define the points of your story to make yourself more relevant to your customer.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And that's what this is all about. But I mean, I do realize it's an impossibility to go through everything here in detail, but it can trigger that process in terms of getting honest and real about what's driving you, and fetch out your story so that you can craft your own story into your sales pitch.
Right.
And I'm going to show you tools at the end. We're getting into the towards the end of the presentation of how you can do that, which is, to me, is the most exciting. But this gives it's a very powerful way to start the process.
Okay.
So that was the pain to the glory. Then we have, what evidence do you have over here? I'm just conscious of time here. I just want to, because I want to circle back to some questions. So I'm just going to rush through this. What evidence do you have? We found that testimonials, it's the old way of selling, but it's the best way of selling, because in a world where everyone believes what they want to believe and can say whatever they want to say, we don't know what's actually true or not. But somehow when someone else tells your story, it's so much more powerful. So I'm a big advocate of going to testimonials, right? And what I mean here, I'm just going to give you some examples over here of some simple testimonials that I use when I'm pitching clients, to show you the power. And like, these were just shot on, this was shot on my cell phone in a car, and this was done on Zoom, right? So you might think, oh, but I can't do that, but I'm going to prove to you that you actually can do it. And I'm going to show you how you can do it. Because once you've finished your story, you can do this with your top 3 clients and start promoting it, or giving your message more credibility. So this is 1 minute. So I'm just going to show you. This was shot in a car. The trick, and I've got the tools for you. The trick is essentially the structure of how you put it together. So let me just play it. It's 40 seconds. I think
I'm the CEO of Vaporite. We have a group in South Africa of 18 stores. We plan to be the biggest independent retailer that specializes in vaporizer. Kevin has helped us with the optimization solutions and strategy. No one's actually taken us to the level that we are right now. We've had unbelievable growth and results. I found Kevin's SEO skills being optimal, more efficient than we've ever come across. And so I believe our marketing and our strategy is working more effectively than we've ever had. I trust Kevin, I highly rate his skill set, and I believe we can deliver the right results.
Okay, 40 seconds. There's nothing that I can say in all my blah, blah that is going to be more convincing than that. And then this one is, it's just, this was just another one that was done on Zoom, but I'm going to show you how you can pull this off yourself. So has anyone heard of a program called Loom? Just see, I'm just interested if people know what Loom is. Just, Laurie?
No one, no.
Okay, so this is the most innovative piece of software that can revolutionize your business. All it is, it's a screen recording app. It's completely free. So you can start, and you can also embed it in your emails. In other words, you can start communicating using video to your customers, and you can also use this to record your testimonials. So the way that it works is that you record your screen. It instantly, when you finish, it stops recording. It uploads your video to the cloud, and then you get this little link over here that you can just copy this link and insert it into your email, and then people can watch this video and comment on it. But what's very interesting is that you can actually put a call to action over here. You can put a custom thumbnail, and you can also trim it. So you can just take certain sections if it's a testimonial. So, I mean, I can actually show you the site over here. So this is an example when I pitch to clients. Hey, Dan, it's Kevin here. Hope you are well. I put together a quick presentation just to give you an idea of where you stand in the Google local marketing landscape, and also what we can do for you. So this should take a couple of minutes. If you have any questions, we can talk live. So in communication and connection is the most important part of your strategy. So using tools like this in an innovative way can differentiate you from your competitors, and also solidify your storytelling approach, so that you are there connecting in a way that no one else is connecting. So you don't have to have yourself in the picture. You can record the screen just with the just with the screen without the face. But in terms of if you want to humanize your communication, I really recommend this. So let's see here. Okay, so the question is, that's a tool that you can use, but how do you do it? So I'm going to give you like a back end in terms of how I work. So when I'm setting up the testimonials, I have a script that I use, and you can take the script. It will be in the slides. And for every single person, it's the same. So you can say to a customer, I'd like to interview you. Everyone knows Zoom. They're familiar with the process, and you just screen record it on Loom, or you can use any program to do it. But you just want to record this, and you just go through the same script for every client that you want to interview, and then you take out only the best parts. So these questions are just to help extract their story about you, and I'll go through it. So the first question is, your name and what do you do? So they say, hi, I'm Stephen. I'm a managing director of company XYZ. Thank you. So thank you very much. And the whole idea is just to be as conversational as possible, very relaxed. A lot of people feel a bit anxious when they are recorded, but you need to put them at ease in order to facilitate the smooth dialogue, because you are going to only take out the best parts of it. So you might say, oh, well, I don't know how to edit and I don't know what to do. I'm going to show you how you can do it. You don't have to do any editing. You can get someone else to do that. But what's important is to extract their feeling of what it's like to do business with you, and all those core values that you had in your story. You're trying to fish and get those out of the person you're interviewing. So a good question is, what was your problem? And I've given examples over here just so that to familiarize you with the process. What was done? What results did you achieve? Can you think of a single word or phrase that summarizes? You know, I do this for other clients, but essentially you can do it, you know, if you're just doing it for your own business, you know, that summarize doing business with us. And then how has working with your company changed the way that you do business? Then the most important is, would you recommend us? And then the last one, which is a bit of a repetition, is if someone called you and says, why would you do business with Mantis Security? Sorry, I changed this. There's two companies there. What would you say? So through this process, you just want to be monitoring, are they triggering the values that you have got in your story, that it can corroborate what you're saying and get it in the words of your best customers. And, you know, I find this very, very effective because people can relate to other people's stories and experiences. So I don't know if there are any questions people have about this process.
So Kevin, this is for existing clients or
Existing, correct.
existing.
Your
So what would you use for new clients before you get a new client?
Well, you're going to be showing prospective clients what other people think, because you're just telling the story. You've given them your spiel, right? Who you are. You have crafted your solution, why it's such a good match, and then the end point is what other people have said. Now you have to be getting results. If you're brand new, it's very hard to do this process. You know, that's why I wanted to know where people were at in terms of their business process, because if someone's just started, then this testimonials doesn't really work because you don't have a track record. But a lot of people don't mine the value of the existing clients well enough, and the reason is because you don't know where to put it, you know, in your communication. But the testimonials I found to be very effective. It's because they're the market's so convoluted and there's so much noise out there that you need to bring it down to what's real, you know, back to humanity, back to, you know, telling it through stories and people's experiences, because somehow people relate to that. Because our brains are wired. Fortunately, with video, you can do these many testimonials and you can actually run them as video ads on YouTube and Google. Just testimonials, you know, just as a way to reach out to people. But people will listen to stories before they listen to marketing, blah, blah. So it's just a technique how you can reach out and tell stories as an effective marketing tool. So I think this is I think there are one or two more slides, but I don't know if most people know about Fiverr, which is essentially you can buy any marketing service. And here is an example that you can have your testimonial videos done, 3 or 4, and then come to a site like Fiverr, where you can find any editor here for 1,000 Rand, they can put together a beautiful testimonial video for you. That's not expensive, and there's no excuse not to do this. Because you as a business owner and the master craft of the story, you have to be the conductor, pull it all together, but you can find many people at different levels, you know, of experience to put it together for you. So you can see over here, this guy is doing a basic edit for 541 Rand. So if you haven't got the time, or you don't want to get into video editing, just go to Fiverr. Say, this is my footage, this is my logo, put it all together for me. In 3 days, you can have something amazing that you can send to prospective clients, and you can embed in your presentations, you know, both online and offline. I mean, I use them all the time, and they always work, because, you know, if people don't know, like, or trust you yet, then the best bet is to have a testimonial. I don't know if there are any questions around Fiverr and how to use it.
No questions right now.
Okay, and this, I just wanted to show you in terms of, this here's in my Gmail account. You can see if you install Loom, that's the Loom app over here. You can, if you push this menu bar here next to send, this Loom is embedded. So you can embed your video and do a recording straight in your email, so you don't have to go to get the link. So if you can start communicating with your customer in terms of, this is me, this is what I do, in your face, raw, honest, you know, passionate, you know, you've got your story together. These are tools that are very, very effective, and I can guarantee your competitors are not using them. So as part of this presentation, in terms of how to sell yourself, using these tools is going to differentiate you immediately. And the beautiful thing with these videos is that as someone watches the video, you will get a notification so that you know that someone's engaged your video. And you can just follow up immediately, and then they think, wow, that's magic. So let's just see over here. Okay, so putting it all together, this is the hard part over here in terms of, we spoke, this is another process that we use to pull everything together for clients. And this is really about writing a script for your video, but it doesn't have to be a video ad. It can be any form of communication. And here you can see, this is attention, calling out your audience. Right, here's the actual script. Hey, if you're not, you know, here's your target audience, skip this ad, did you know that? So you can use this script to help you in your communication, but this is what we spoke about, is what pain are they having? You know, what is their problem? This first point here is essentially, how do you get their attention? If you can't get someone's attention, you've got no chance. So that's why the process that I've outlined all dovetails into this, this framework over here, where you call out the person, who are they? What problem are they having? How do you connect with them? Like, what gives you the right to talk about the topic? Share unique experiences that gives you special insight on the topic. Now, all the storytelling and the vision that I spoke about and your origin story, this is where it comes in over here. Then your solution. What solution are you offering? And what must they do? So you can see attention, problem, connection, solution, action. It all boils down to this. So you have all the tools now and the structure. Now comes the hard work. It's easy to do this, you know, and to theorize, but the hard work is really massaging out your essence. And, you know, our business is helping people do this. But, you know, with the information that I've presented and the tools that I've shown you, you can be infinitely ahead of your competitors and at least have the confidence and the direction to get going immediately. And with that, we are 11:55. We have a few minutes for questions.
Perfect. Perfect timing. Are there any questions for Kevin? Wow.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, looking at this, I am familiar with what you have shown us, and I found it a lot of good pointers. So thank you for that, Kevin.
Pleasure.
For me, it's kind of shifted, probably more in my mind, but it's shifted